Welcome back, everyone. Today I have a very unique game, I would say, once again, because I am playing 119th, and well, this kind of already makes it unique, because you basically never see the division anywhere, and I'm going up against 79th. So I thought this is a pretty fun duel, because uh, obviously both tank divisions, but 79th is just a way more rounded division. It, well, because it's just a normal division. And 119th isn't even a division, right? It's a, what is a polk? Is it a brigade or a battalion? I think it's a brigade. Um, and uh, well, but I have the heavier tanks, right? With the T-80U and the UD. I will absolutely smack his tanks, but the amount of infantry I have is very limited. Also, I don't have any BMP-2s. On the other hand, though, as you can see already, I have Spetsnaz that are forward deployed, which is obviously very helpful. And very limited AA as well on my side, which is a bit problematic, because as you have maybe also seen in my in the video where I played 79th, you can air bully your enemy pretty well if you want to, and if you build your deck for it. Though I have better fighters and I have more fighters, so it will be very important to keep them up, to not let myself get bombed to death. And you can see I decided to deploy to the left hand side, so I didn't play Vertigo as I would usually play it and just ooga booga down the right hand side. I thought that I might try something a little bit adventurous this time. Well, in this case, because I know that he doesn't have any forward deployed and his recon will most likely also be very slow, I should be able to get here without any problems, without any issues. Starting with a MiG-29, because he still could do some helicopter opener to kill off my forward deployed, because as usual with those divisions, I don't have any forward deployed AA. And yeah, well, in the other video I did with 119th, that's basically what my enemy tried to do, right? Even though it didn't work. But in general, it's still a solid idea. So yeah, but let's go down to what I actually deployed. So Spetsnaz, Spetsnaz OP, and Spetsnaz GRU going to the left-hand side. Spetsnaz GRU deploying in this building. The two other combat Spetsnaz deploying in here. And then I would want to push the Spetsnaz OP one building forward in case he is coming in, so that I can snipe him off with the very, very nice RPG-29 AT launcher that has a 70-50 meter range, 21 AP, pretty high accuracy as well. Rate of fire like isn't super high, but still good. Then basically the same for the center, just that I only have the Spetsnaz OP going in here, because as you can see it has a pretty nice line of sight down the road, just enough for the, or more than enough actually, for the RPG to go up to about here, and then Spetsnaz and Spetsnaz GRU going into this building. Then obviously Spetsnaz GRU will move forward. I mean the same here, like I want to move my Spetsnaz GRU further forward into here. I just didn't want to drive completely through to this forest line, because I wasn't sure that I would be able to get there. Then one Spetsnaz GRU deploying very defensively here. I didn't want to drive it too far forward, because I was afraid that something could snipe it. Even though it's fairly unlikely, I just wanted to make sure that the Spetsnaz GRU just survives. I mean, to be fair, he also gets Spetsnaz GRU that could rush into me and try to fight against my units, though I mean Spetsnaz GRU against Spetsnaz just stands no chance. There are also special forces, but as I always say, GSR squads, even though a lot of them are special forces, aren't for fighting. They're too small a squad and far too valuable because of their recon capabilities to waste on fighting. Then you can also see deploying some Rapidas. I decided to take them in my decks, or my deck again, so in 119 specifically, to kind of alleviate the problem that I don't have any infantry ATGMs. They're still worse because you can't put them in buildings, but I mean, with the Bastion ATGM, they have a decent one. It's fast, has low AP, and I mean it doesn't have the mobility of the BMP-3, so that's a bit problematic. Also went with a Spetsnaz OP to get it into this building, hopefully. That would be very nice, because then I could snipe his BMPs if he tries to get out of the forest line. Would be very, very cool. 2 commands for the left and the right hand side, so that I can get some points early on. Another Rapira going to cover off this road, and then 2 Motostrelki. So a very defensive deployment on the right hand side. Obviously missing the ATGMs, but not like I have an option. Fighter going around, didn't see anything. Oh, well, didn't want to close that. So that was already a pretty good sign. And yeah, Spetsnaz OP here, deploying perfectly and sniping off his Spetsnaz GRU. We'll need to micro this one forward here. Unfortunately, he didn't drive down this road, so didn't get to snipe anything there. Another Spetsnaz GRU tried to get, I guess, somewhere into here, but I mean, that was really a bad idea. See a BMP-2 coming in, so that's a nice target. And then unfortunately, the Spetsnaz OP misses. He unloads his squad in time, and he will obviously still die, but it would have been so much nicer if we could have killed him in his transport. Would have made it all a lot easier. So yeah, start already went very well. Also deployed 2 Eagles here, so I guess he also was afraid of some helicopter opener. Well, I guess that's par for the course in Soviet against Soviet matchups, because everybody could open with a bunch of Mi-24s. And 119th does get Mi-24Ks, though I would rather fill my recon tab with more infantry, because I don't have it in the infantry tab. Now I bring in a Su-24 cluster, which was a bit weird. Like, why would you not bring in an Su-24 HE? Though you can see that like the cluster bombs still do a shit ton of damage. OP Spetsnaz obviously dies because it's just a 4-man squad. Spetsnaz here survives. I didn't move them out of the building because I was afraid that I wouldn't make it out in time. Like away in time, I would make it out in time, but not away from the explosions, and then I would be in the open and take even more damage. So I decided to just take it in the buildings and hope that the damage reduction from the cover would be enough. It was enough for the Spetsnaz, not the Spetsnaz GRU. And also afterwards I realized that probably moving out to the side would have been enough, because the building is quite wide. And you can see his spread just went obviously this direction, but oh well. Because I didn't saw anything like heavy coming down here, and he took quite heavy losses in the center and the left hand side. For the opener obviously, where you have limited amount of points, I decided to just push forward here, because there couldn't be so much here. Not anything heavy at least. So yeah, you can see slowly moving forward, spot his Spetsnaz GRU, and there's nothing he can do against my vehicles. He doesn't have any ATGMs himself here, big mistake by the enemy. And MTLBs that bring in the Rapiras also moving forward for some extra fire support, even though they do literally nothing against squads in buildings. Here I knew that he had those 2 Eagles back here, so I just pushed forward the MTLB to kill them off, because there's nothing he can do against it. He was trying to come in with the Su-24 HE, so I quickly intercepted him with the MiG-29. Don't get a kill on him, but luckily he also doesn't get a kill on my MiG-29, so, you know, that's okay. That's a trait that's that I'm willing to make, honestly, as long as my fighter survives. That's fine. He didn't get his bombs off, so that's the most important part. BMP-2s here now in the open against the Rapira obviously stand no chance. Though unfortunately, because it was busy with shooting the BMP-2s, his command got through. So I guess it was a low-key genius, I guess. And I only got one of the BMP-2s. Spetsnaz here. Oh, Spetsnaz GRU here died? No, it must have been here, I misclicked. Yeah, well, anyway, Spetsnaz GRU here finally dead. Moving forward, he also had 2 Eagles here, so I guess he really was afraid of a helicopter opener. Maybe had some bad experiences in the past. I'm just pushing through. BMP-1 might be able to snipe the BMP-2. Oh, it misses. 30mm grenade launcher will obviously be a problem for my infantry and even my BMP-1s, if we're gonna be honest. So that was annoying. And yeah, as I said, my damage output is very, very mediocre against infantry with the BMP-1s and the MTLBs. BMP-1 unfortunately misses a second time. That was really bad. Though for once in my life I was on top of microing my IFVs, so I smoke off the Conquerors, push through the smoke, and maybe I will actually get the kill. I'll get the first hit. He is driving forward. I guess he was on a move order or something. Get a kill on the BMP-2. Very nice. You can see some deployments for the left-hand side. I deployed them a little bit further in front of the sector, because I obviously don't know whether he has something in here. I mean, I have recon, but as we all know, in WARNO that doesn't really mean anything. Now a bunch of infantry was coming in here, so I retreated the BMP-1. Unfortunately, he now brought in a helicopter and his Su-24, and I stupidly bought some TO-55s, but didn't buy any AA, or well, rather, the AA was still on the way, and my fighter was out repairing, so that was a big mistake by me, not having any air defense up for such a case. But it's not the end of the world, because I'm still taking it at +2. He captured this sector, so if he recaptures Boris, he will be even. But I mean, I'm already almost 200 points ahead of him. This sector here seemed very lightly defended, though recon BMP-2 are a very big problem because the BMP-1K doesn't have smoke. So I was really hoping that I would get out in time. I didn't, but he missed. So that was very lucky for me. Like, this is a Vet 1 BMP-2, should have really hit the Conquerors here. Yeah, now, but my infantry and my BMPs are moving forward. Recon BMP here at least spotting something, once it is already in range, but whatever, better than nothing. Yeah, the Turkey BMP here were forgotten about. The Su-24 HE coming in for those buildings, but jokes on him, they were empty anyway. I was trying to move forward Rapira, but at this point I have lost this forest line completely, so obviously there is no point in that. You can also see I bought in 2 tanks, so the T-80U and the T-80BV, so very heavy reinforcements coming in. And yeah, I said that was just super dumb. I should have first bought an AA and then bothered buying in TO-55s and the T-80s. But I just thought that he would have more stuff on the ground. So, you know, that's why I bought in support for on-the-ground stuff. Apparently he didn't. Here I was really struggling to get rid of this stupid Motorazvedka because the Pulimechiki in this building weren't able to fire on them. So I had to move them out in the open. Was a bit sad. And now he gets in his cluster bomber. I guess he saw them driving in with a helicopter, and they were all in one line, so he kills them off all in one run. That was horrible. This was honestly catastrophic, and also just very badly done by me. Like, I know that he has those cluster bombers, and their big advantage is that if you have everything in one line, they can kill you, and their big disadvantage is if you have spread your stuff out, the bomber isn't useless, but it's gonna waste most of its bombs to kill off just one target, and I would stupidly put them all in this forest line. I could have easily spread them out between those 2 forest lines here. So super bad, and then also the Strela 10M being like in the same line behind the tanks. So that was giga bad. I mean, I'm capturing the left-hand sector, so I wasn't too worried, but it still didn't look good, because I mean, look at what I have left here. It's basically nothing. Pretty much dead Rapira, a TO-55, and 2 Iglas, and then one Rapira we're supporting from here. Spetsnaz and Spetsnaz OP in the center are kind of useless. Again, the big problem of this goddamn division is that I don't have infantry DGMs that I could have been putting in those buildings if I would have been playing literally any other division in the game. Modern howitzers though, definitely a good idea, though in this case not that useful, because I need more units on the front line. I assumed that he would have his units spread out in those buildings, and I thought that my artillery would come in early enough to catch him in this building back there. Well, fun fact, it didn't come in early enough, and fun fact, he put all his units into this center building here, which usually obviously you wouldn't want to do, because then all of your units could be sniped off by like just one bomber. Especially because in this case I could have the LGB in 1/19th, and I don't, because I think it's just a little bit too expensive, and killing off heavy tanks just isn't important in this meta, because nobody's playing with heavy tanks anyway. Like, this is, I think, one of the only times I have seen a T-80 division in this meta that wasn't played by me. So, yeah, I just don't take them. Just the Su-24 with the HE bombs, that's good enough. Oh, not good enough, that's already very good. Yeah, moved up my units a little bit further forward to control the forest here, so that it doesn't have an easy time of pushing back onto this hill. Also rerouted the command back to the artillery, because I don't really need it on the left-hand side anymore, and you know that I love upwetting my artillery. Try to micro them, because as they're towed howitzers, you need to put them back in the transports and then move them and stuff like that, so you can't just shift-click move command them, which is a bit annoying. Obviously it's very nice because they are a lot cheaper than the SPGs, but this extra micro you have to do is still very annoying. Killing off 2 more of his Conquerors. Very, very nice. Some ATGM here on the left hand side, firing on my BMP-1. He smokes off in time though. Now Grad comes in. I thought he would try to grad this forest line, but he actually graded my artillery, and as you can see I didn't move them in time. Because you can't shift move the command after the load command. So you can shift command them to load into the transports, but you then can't shift command them to move. You will have to always move them manually after they have loaded into the transports again. But unfortunately he fired from like the other side of the map, so his spread was so big that he didn't kill anything, which was very bad for him. Now more bombers coming in. I focused the cluster bomber and I prevented it from dropping and killed it off. HE bomber got through, but also died to the AA I have now. I mean, T-80U and Tunguska, definitely a good AA setup. He got his bombs off, but the spread in this case was very bad. I guess he also had some stress on this applied to him. So yeah, the Tunguska also survived without any issues. Is stressed now itself though, so that's not nice. He brought in more infantry, again put them all in one building. Rapiro won't do a lot of damage to them anyway, but I mean, now I can just fire it down with my artillery. He is trying to get some push going on the left hand side, but it's very slow and kind of all over the place. Like, the grenade launcher in here is okay, but then the Separi RPO don't really make a lot of sense. Like, if you lose this early on, you might as well just completely ignore it and put everything down this lane. Or, I mean, if you really want to play meta, you should just put everything down this lane from the beginning. Or, well, if you don't have like any forward deployed. If you're an airborne division, I think it's still better to go for a broad deployment. Because, yeah, well, obviously you will get here earlier. But with anything that isn't airborne, even like a normal infantry division, I think it's just better to all in on one side. And yeah, so those units here are just completely useless for him now, and they will most likely just die. I think I will target them with my artillery soon. Now I have 2 fighters up, so I learned from my mistake. Unfortunately though, he now came in with his bombers to the left hand side, where I didn't have a fighter. So in hindsight it would have been better to just have 1 fighter on the left and 1 on the right. Also they were just turning around to like on their way back in their circle. So yeah, unfortunately couldn't get his bombers before they dropped. His Su-22 cluster even vetted up. So I got his Su-24 HE, so he now only has 1 Su-24 bomber left. He bombed the forest line here, by the way, which was unlucky and unfortunate for me, so now I have to retreat the only squad I have left in there, and I have nothing to control the open now. But I mean, overall that's still okay, because I'm sticking under +2. You can see I am getting some more units into the right hand side again. He wasn't able to push in all this time, unfortunately for him. I'm now just artillery those units, not like they are doing a lot, but I just wanted to get rid of them. Because if he like smokes and moves them in, they can still be pretty dangerous for me. Like, not super dangerous because the Spetsnaz is still alive, and a second Rapiro is coming in. But, you know, better be safe than sorry, and in this case I also just didn't see any other squads that I could be artillerying. Everything else was moving or just invisible to me. So, don't mind if I do. T-80 here also was damaged by something, can't remember even by what. I think by some artillery, most likely. Yeah, so he was also using his artillery, but I guess he didn't get the memo or doesn't know it, but he was keeping his artillery very far back. Always put your artillery further to the front line, because with one of the recent... oh, it's not even that recent, I think. But some time ago, artillery was changed so that the closer you are to the front line, the smaller your dispersion is, so it's always better to have your artillery close to the front line than further away. Obviously don't put it too close to the front line, it might get sniped by some actual frontline units, and you don't want it to happen if your enemy gets a quick breakthrough, but having them so far back is definitely unnecessary, especially because like I wasn't close to like completely breaking through his line in this sector here anyway. I mean, I'm starting an advance now, but even if he had them here, that would have been already a lot better than having them back there. Now here he just moves his recon over the open, and I mean, once he gets into range of my motorrazvedka, he obviously will just die, because I'm not moving and I'm in cover. Brought in supply for the artillery to repair it up, because I really didn't want it to die. He is... Oh no, I thought he was targeting this building. Oh, never mind, he wasn't. But he brought in his own T-80BV ICD. I used my artillery to target his infantry there. But because of the splash damage, obviously the T-80BV will also get some damage on him. So that's obviously not good for him. I decided to engage him with my T-80BVK and hit two BMP-1s. Because, oh, that's not really a 3v1, because obviously two of them are only BMPs. But the Fagos will still apply stress damage and do some damage, like some actual damage as well. And now also my artillery just stunned him down, so that was very nice, so he couldn't even smoke off his tank, and I killed it off, so very nice. T-80BV though took some damage, the T-80BVK, which isn't nice, and the supply here is empty, so I will need new supplies. Loading back the artillery. One of his counter batteries also missed, though this one will be on target, so I quickly started moving him again in the hopes of getting out. Here the BMPs now can work on this Motostoki here. Conquerors is too far back for him, and luckily, because he was too far back, my artillery survives once again. Killed off one of the supply trucks though, so this was a bit unfortunate, but really not the end of the world. And you see a new T-80U coming in, Recon BMP-1 with the motorrazvedka, because I mean I have the Spetsnaz TRU here still, but a Recon BMP-1 is always useful. And now the Rapiras here on the flank really doing a great job of getting some kills on the BMP-2s and also holding back his infantry. So yeah, really not going well for him, and T-80U now also in position to apply pressure. Called in the supply helicopter for some quick resupply. I really like having one card of supply helicopters now, because they just get to the front line so much quicker than anything else. Also, yeah, I deployed one, or brought in one Rapira to the left-hand side to, as I said, secure the hill, also to Motostoki, because I was afraid that he could start a push here, which, well, as you see, he didn't do that. Obviously, I didn't know that, and now I have like 3 Rapiras there, 2 Rapiras on the right-hand side, tanks, IFVs, everything I want, and he surrenders. And the thing is, the guy, it's not showing now. Okay, it's showing, now it does. You can see he's like super low rank. When I played him, he was like a rank 11,000. And I thought that he did a decent job, honestly. Like, you would think a rank 11,000, like what the fuck is this guy even doing? Does he even know like what left and right click is on his mouse? But obviously he didn't play like super well, but he did play a lot better than rank 10,000. So yeah, if you are watching, which most likely you won't, but maybe you are, keep it up, because you are definitely better than rank 10,000, man. Like, that's just ridiculous. I felt a bit sorry for him for being such a low rank. And yeah, GG to him. He really tried his best. Deck building should be a bit different. Like, he brought in 2 coups at double vet. That's like super inefficient card-wise. And yeah, spraying out his artillery. He also deployed a fob, which you really shouldn't deploy fobs in this meta right now. Where it's like all in down one lane, you really need the most points in the opener to hold and not crumble. And yeah, put your artillery further forward. That's extremely important. Because honestly, he could have easily counter-batteried my artillery with his first counter-battery if his Grad would have been closer to the front. And if we look at the kill list, yeah, also, obviously, that's where you see that he's low rank. He didn't know the timings, or maybe he didn't even know that I have Spetsnaz, I don't know. It's not even unlikely, because you never see 119th anyway, that people might just forget. And I killed a lot of his stuff just in the opener by him driving into my Spetsnaz OP. And yeah, then he just did the fantastic cluster attack with his SU-24, where it was a big mistake by me. Honestly, if I would have done that better, the game would have been over a lot earlier as well. But I mean, I did the mistake, so yeah, the first T-80U didn't even do anything. Yeah, which one? Yeah, this one. This is the one. did the amazing bombing run, and then also the Me-24 really fucked me up. But other than that, yeah, she really didn't get a lot of kills. And yeah, well, hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe I will play a little bit more 119th. Not sure though. If you go up, the problem is if you go up against like any of the meta divisions, it's just you might as well stick your dick in the blender. That's more fun than playing against meta divisions with 119th. But if you play against like even an A or B tier division, it's already super good, in my opinion. Like not super good, but it's already a good division. You just have to use it right. So we will see. But either way, I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, I wish you a beautiful day, and bye bye.